someone.
Look at it.
Anyone.
Zeri's not there.
Dead.
Holding onto that ult as long as possible, but he holds it a little bit too long. Gets pulled back, has to flash out. Equalizer! Photon! Oh, from that, just clean! The range! Chase!
Not dead.
I hold them
Look,
out.
huge ult.
Nice.
Ahri might die. Wait, play with Rumble. Look, Rakan.
Zeri is next, I think. I play with you. I have you. I have you.
Look Zeri.
You block me. I'm the carry. You block me.
But here, Photon is making it work!
It's the strongest rumble I've ever seen, Jankos.
And welcome back to the LEC as I'm joined by Vetheo. Vetheo, thank you so much. Ça va, frérot?
Ça va, thank you.
Well, thank you for joining me. It was a crazy game, a good game from you once again, 2-0 so far in spring. What did you think of BDS showing today and the way you answered them?
I think they showed same thing as always. Like they have, like their way of drafting is often like the same with hyper carry, like a bit more tanky jungle and like Adam one of his champ or more melee to play through top lane. I think they did a really good job early game. I think Sheo is really good at finding some cheese or like find ways to gank or invade, and I think it cut off a bit off guard early game. But after this, I think we had a really good draft, and then we're so ahead that it was really, I think our comp was really easy to play, so it was not that hard.
And a lot of good scaling and a lot of good setups, I think, which we saw on mid lane. There's a clip that I want to roll here. It's the mid lane fight rather, that we saw earlier. You guys turned this one around. I don't think it was really initiated by you in the end. BDS has been strong in winter, especially in the way they plan for team fight setups and situations like this. But it feels like you guys made the best of it in the end. Talk me through the way you turned this one around, because we hear Karzi in the comms saying, stick to Rumble. He was the power pick here.
Yeah, I mean, so this fight starts, we're a bit like 2v5, then Kazi ints, and then and then I TP in the, I don't know why I'm tipping there, and then I'm inting. So, but they like put everything on Kazi and me, and then Photon arrives, perfect ult, and then he just burns everyone, and they one-shotted everyone with Illy being there and peeling for Photon, and then he's saying no Photon peel for me because I'm the carry, since he was playing like Nautilus farming. But I think Photon is just, he played so good this game, from laning to like team fights. They basically won this fight like 3v5.
Yeah.
So yeah, good job to my team.
Good job to the team. Despite the int, he got the key player of the game here today. What is special about Photon as a top laner, would you say?
I mean, I would say it reminds me a lot of Irit when I played on Misfits. I think current top laners, I mean, I played with two now, and I can see a bit of a pattern, but I think they bring something that some EU top laners doesn't. And I think like the way they lane and how they see team fight and how good they can be in team fight is really something that Photon, as Irit was, are like just like really good at. And I think that's something. And Photon can play so many champs, so a lot of carries. But I think he can play other champs too, so I think that's great, and not everyone can do that for sure.
He can adapt for sure, but despite the numerous Korean top laners that you had in your career, I feel like you evolved a lot, and especially this year, Vetheo. What do you want to achieve in spring, personally? I'm not talking about winning the splits or anything, but when it comes to what you want to be as a player, what should we be looking forward to?
I mean, I don't want to be anything in spring. I'm mostly aiming for end of summer.
Okay.
And I just want to be the most complete player I can be. I think I showed in the past that I can play team fights good, I can play carries, some melee champs good, but I think my understanding of side laning, mid-game or laning, I've been way weaker than the rest, and that's what I'm mostly focusing on. I think it's really a long-term project, and I think right now I'm playing worse than I was before, and that I was in winter because I'm just gathering all the information I can and learning so much. So like individually I'm playing worse, but once I will like get what I'm learning right now. I think, and I will get back to my peak level individual. I will be so much better and so much more complete in the champs I play. I think I'm training so many champs that I didn't play much, and yeah, that's what I'm aiming at the end of the year.
I love the fact that you want to take some time here and let things build with Vitality. But thank you so much for the interview and sharing your thoughts again, Vetheo. Best of luck tomorrow against SK. We'll see you against Miski. It's going to be fun. And Casters, back to you for the next game, Rogue versus Heretics.
Thank you very much, Laure and Vetheo. Laure, absolutely fire. Shenron shirt today. Just got to call that out. Here we are, gearing up for Game 2. Game 1, super explosive. Obviously kind of just the Rumble show. Don't know if we're going to get the same this time around, although I do still think we're going to talk a little bit about top lane. We saw that Wukong come out yesterday.
Yeah, Finn, maybe, an angle to talk about. He's been doing pretty good.
So a reason to talk about top lane more today, especially with both these teams. Of course, Heretics and Rogue, both starting off on a loss. Rogue drafting a bit more proactively. The play, though, individually, a lot of hiccups here and there. Team Heretics, early game, good. Mid, late, pretty all over the place. And so just see how both these teams want to adjust coming into their second day of play.
Yeah, I think whenever you play versus Heretics, it's usually the center ban that you have to ban into them, but they've actually banned it away. So not wanting to give it over to Comp makes a lot of sense. He did play it before, so maybe Zeri rising up in priority here?
Yeah. I mean, you've taken away so many of the conventional choices. Varus also good. The Nautilus we've talked about so much. I mean, it's just the universal safe blind pick, and the first pick, Taliyah, now coming out. Of course, Azir is not a part of the pool, and Orion has been banned away. How do you feel about the Taliyah? It gave me a sigh. I feel like there's something on your mind.
I think it's incredibly broken, and I wouldn't mind it being a red side permaban. I think that alongside Smolder Senna is pretty solid. It's so good in the jungle and mid lane as a flex, because the mid lane matchups, but that's
a Ziggs.
That's a strange one. Ziggs bot?
Nautilus.
I think Ziggs got some changes, didn't it? So it got reduced satchel cooldown from 24 to 20 seconds, I believe. So you're going to be able to move the Ziggs around the map with Comp a lot easier. Maybe a good matchup as you outrange Taliyah as well, and you can harass through the wave, which is one of Taliyah's big weaknesses, so driving her more into the jungle position.
Yeah. Got some armor, got some more armor growth. Also got that satchel cooldown, as you highlighted, at rank 1, 20 from 24. 4-second cooldown is a big deal. Yep. And we haven't seen a Ziggs in a long time. Yeah. Obviously a champion that does a lot. You highlighted the thing that he's most known for, keeping the wave pressure up, taking towers. That's the big thing that you look at him. Zeri locked in the opposite side, much more of a known quantity. And of course, we're just assuming that Ziggs goes bot lane because he's kind of trash mid from what I've seen.
Yeah, I think what you want to round out here is with a support for Trimby, potentially something into a Nautilus like a Braum. You could do Alistair as well. I think those are your go-to. Rell, it has potential too with a dive, and the setup as a flex with Taliyah too. But it's really what they want to round out that B3.
I'm also curious to see if Rogue are going to set up Finn against a counter pick by conventional safe. And again, into the Ziggs. You can satchel charge away, but having that reliable lockdown is great, and limiting at least the reliable lockdown on the other side. Tristana feels like it confirms that the Ziggs will be going into the bot lane. And Tristana, I'm going to be honest, it's my favorite champion for Larssen right now, because if he doesn't leave lane, he still gets so much because he can just threaten the tower.
Absolutely. They've got Tower Siege comp, haven't they? Just run around playing side lane with Tristana as well as Ziggs. I think that's the idea. Now you draft disengage with it, so your 3-core is able to disengage anytime they get engaged on once you're playing side lane. So Gragas ban's coming out. That's a staple Wunder blind pick, so what they're doing is they're really ruining him there and setting up their own blind picks too.
Really trying to set up the Finn show. Again, game counter pick yesterday was the Udyr, and Finn individually played pretty damn well yesterday. Able to build up his advantage, take some tower plates. Struggled to transition those advantages, I think, to the rest of the team. But, of course, the rest of the team did die in 1v1.
I think, yeah, I'd like a Renekton ban if I'm Rogue, because I really want to break up that Renekton Taliyah Vi core. It's really, really broken single target nuke potential, and it's a good blind as well for Wunder. I think he plays it, so that has potential as a top lane if they want to pinch it that way.
Of course, reminder, this is the first Ziggs in LEC 2024. I feel like we see one every year, maybe 2 every year. We haven't really gotten the full Ziggs meta in a very, very long time. But Rakan banned away, the Maokai banned away too, so splitting up some potential. But the Renekton on the table, and also Rogue, of course, take it away if they're willing to blind pick top lane.
Yeah, Rakan really good pairing with Zeri, as well as being incredible synergy with single target damage of the Taliyah and Vi. You just go in on the same target as the Vi, and it's just a one-shot with a double knockup. So on the flip side, you have Heretics pinching junglers and top laners, and there goes another blind for Finn with the Gnar.
Yeah, and Gnar can do pretty well in the Renekton as well, so if they're not going to take it here, Feels like an easy option for Heretics if they want to go that way. But yesterday we felt like it was a clear Jax angle when they went Wukong. So I feel like Heretics maybe have a different read on the top lane.
I think, yeah, Sejuani. Synergy, blind jungle, counterpick to Finn is the exact same formula they ran yesterday. So whatever Finn has, maybe an Udyr into a tank here. They need some kind of frontline, I think. Something with single target burst worked as well for Wunder. I'm thinking stuff like Cassandre, Renekton, any kind of fill champion here.
Just something reliable.
Yeah, Renekton is a good denial as well, because the enemy team have Sejuani, and that's a great duo. Might see the Finn Renekton with the Sejuani.
Jante will get locked in here. I'm sure you all missed him. He's back.
Yeah, slightly worse than before.
Slightly worse.
Still, really, I think he's completely fine. You see it all the time in LCK. He's more than fine to be playable, and he just facilitates the same role. Now you don't get W reset, but
ooh, Trimby.
Okay.
Leona's an interesting one. We don't see a ton of Leona, mostly because Merc Treads just hard counters her, where it doesn't counter nearly as many other engaged supports. There's just a lot more knockups and other kits, so the Rell will be the choice here.
Yeah, we mentioned this earlier in draft, Rell working really well with the other champions. A lot of draft is about synergies, right, and how well the champions work together, and Rell works really well with Taliyah because both champions set up each other. Rell, you can set up the W, and the other way around as well. Now, what does Finn have into the Cassandre blind pick of Wunder? And it's going to be the Renekton with the Sejuani.
It's a good pairing. You talked about it. You just said it moments ago. Champion interactions. Sejuani Renekton, of course, a classic. See if Finn is able to pull ahead in the laning phase. Both these top laners individually actually performed very well yesterday. Want to see how the matchup works out. And I think for Rogue, you know, we see now with the Ziggs, I think a little bit more chill for comp. He doesn't really need to fight any 1v1s. It's much more about the pressure. It's much more about how they can kind of maneuver him around the map.
Yeah, typically when you play Ziggs, in terms of the Ziggs composition, your most important aspects of gameplay to focus on are just control and moving Ziggs around to take every single plate, right? I remember back in the day, you would track plates, 5 plates, top, mid, and bot, you know, and moving around. The same with the Tristana. You play side lane controlled and secure every single side lane at tier 2 tower. That's your general game plan if you're Rogue.
I mean, if you get any kind of lane lead, it's always a little bit nerve-wracking because if Rogue swap up their lane assignments and what started as a Renekton getting 2 plates turns into Ziggs taking the other 3, you got yourself a big problem. So we'll see how it works, how the sieging of Rogue, how effective it will be in this game. Game 2 now coming at you. Both these teams, of course, starting off with a loss, are looking to shift things up today.
My eyes are on Sejuani, Markoon early, because you have a lot more potential than a Vi early game, right? Vi has to typically farm to level 6, and Sejuani can 3 camp into invade, 3 camp into gank. There really is a plethora of options here, especially with the potential of playing through top or bot lane with that setup from the Renekton and Nautilus.
See what they want to do, where they want to put the focus in the early game. Normally we kind of expect the Ziggs to be in isolation, farming till he gets that lost chapter. And with TP, you know, we know. You're Ziggs. If you've not seen Ziggs Bob before, he pushes. That's what he does. On the top side, though, I feel like, you know, some potential for volatility if that's where they want to show their faces. And maybe we end up in another split map situation. We're seeing the exact same Sejuani posturing that we did in our previous game. That said, this time around, Team Heretics doing a little bit more to fight for some early vision. Yeah, I realize I'm listing off every single lane as potentially volatile, but that's because it's true, right? Mid lane, the Tristana could also get ganked by the Taliyah with the setup and the Vi. So something that's really important when you play with these lanes that kind of want to perm push and threaten plates is that you shadow them. So I want to see Markoon potentially hover through mid as well so that Larssen can hit the turret. All right, Rogue did this yesterday. Bit of invading scout enemy jungle so that the enemy, his allies can play, knowing the pathing. Bit more information, of course, from Markoon. A little bit nicer. There is vision placed around his Raptors. We'll see if he does what he can to avoid that bit of vision. First bomb going a little bit wide. And it seems like Comp and Zoelys are ready to just concede level 2 based on how they're posturing. Bomb not going into the wave, always going to be a little bit tricky. Or just don't want to push too fast at the very least. So what is Markoon's choice here? Does he 3 camp red buff into side invade? It's literally, you're setting it up like it's an episode of The Bachelor. It's like, who will he pick? Who will get the rose from Markoon? I mean, who will get jungle support? This is what Markoon's good at, right? He's super good at early game playing off of trades in lane. Like, I wouldn't be surprised to see him dive any kind of lane in the side. The top lane is fantastic to dive as well. But leaping in. Larssen. Stun there, but obviously no immediate follow-up damage from Spyro. I don't think we really got a good read on Spyro yesterday. You know, just a bit of a false start. Yeah, you know, a lot of smoldering happening up against him. So see if we get to see more from him on the Taliyah. It's hard to have a strong read after a single game on a brand new player to this stage. But Obviously some good tools to disrupt the Renekton, the Sejuani, Larssen as well. Poke now they're stepping in, comp with a bit of follow-up damage. Nice bit of burst there as Trimby taking a decent chunk, but pressure in favor of Team Heretics for now. They're going to move in and get a bit more information. They can just flawlessly track Markoon in this early game. We talked about where he's going to go. Wherever it is, he's been spotted. He got spotted on top side. He's been spotted again on bot side, so essentially perfect information here, but it's not going to stop the trade from going in the favor of Rogue. Zoelys gets ignited, but really just for effect.
Trimby no flash. I wonder if Markoon does anything about it. Maybe that just guarantees his crab because Trimby doesn't want to go up into river. I think there was a world that Markoon actually had to double back to the other crab, but now Jankos going to counter gank.
Both junglers level 4. Combat has to be careful about stepping too far up.
Yeah. I think Rogue really want to walk in this wave, and Markoon isn't here. Should be no flash, so
he feels like he's close enough, but we saw in the previous game as well, these tiny margins where you're just a little bit desynced can cost you. In this case, it won't. Luckily, Ziggs has the range, the wave clear to just force that one out. Now just trying to ensure that Trimby doesn't step up and body block the wave to stop it from crashing.
So both junglers going to reset and go to the respawn camps. Wonder if there's a play. There's pings coming down in top side, walking in the wave, I imagine, to help Wunder crash because Finn is incredibly strong at the moment. The way this matchup works is Renekton just wins, right? It's incredibly just the base damage and the sustain as I might have to hold
going
back.
in onto Trimby again. Trimby no flash comp though. Focus on getting a bit more damage onto Flakked. Nice bounce back on the satchel charge. First strike damage coming in as well. Flakked getting chunked lower and lower. This is a cannon wave too. If they're able to crash this in, they can get so much on the side of Rogue. That said, Markoon on the top side. Spotting Jankos, Finn allowing more time in the 1v1. Wunder has the wave crashing in and the level advantage for now, though.
Yeah, both junglers wanting to play off of the wave state top side. I was looking at mid prior, but I think Larssen could have moved first if it extended, so Jankos didn't want any of it. Also the potential of the Sejuani Renekton base damage. I mean, too much for him if Jankos went into extended fight, so gonna back off. Kind of hover around because this terrible wave. Look at Wunder. He really wants to crash this wave. He's got to kind of just stand here whilst all his minions die.
But he's standing menacingly. Finn goes in, has the minions to heal up off of. Push back there coming in from Cassante. Ruthless spotted her for the stun. Finn out of spells for now and Wunder trading back. But Finn taking control of the wave.
Yeah, managed to break the freeze with a nice little trade. Now he's going to have to recall and TP back, I imagine. Otherwise there's threat of a dive, so we'll do that. And Jankos kind of just being pulled to topside permanently just in case of a play. And Zwiru, mana. Not going to be able to stop the gloves.
I mean, you got 2 biscuits for a bit more time, but of course that's the struggle of laning against the Tristana. She just doesn't need to, essentially doesn't need to use much of any mana at all, and can keep a push just based off the explosive charge.
Yeah, he's going to TP back in, so not the end of the world. He's going to have his items, and I think Larssen is going to match. But Grubbies, you'd expect with the Sejuani Renekton, going to go over the side of Rogue.
Team Heretics, though, not willing to let this one go quietly. Zoelys on the way. Markoon retreating. Level 6 for Finn, though. Tyro has bot. Larssen has bot as well. Both TPs now used. Trimby's going to be in trouble here. They know that he has no flash. Does easy kill pickup. First blood to the side of Rogue.
Yeah. So Rogue a little late to the play with Zoelys, but managed to catch on the way out. And kind of, I think if you're TH, you're a little bit happy with that, but then managing to get picked, losing a flash on Zwiru means that it's probably a reset. And Zoelys coming back mid again for a potential regank. Yeah, dead Zoelys again.
I mean, yeah, you get 2 grubs to the 1 of Team Heretics. You get the kill. You're able to steal the Raptor camp away as well. I mean, it's a difficult position right now for Team Heretics to find themselves in. Falling behind this much early on. You expect to lose lane pressure in a lot of these matchups, but losing the objectives as well. Trimby now walking back. Luckily, 3 members there. Zoelys a little bit too isolated. Ziggs start to come up, but it doesn't matter. And again, we see this. Overconfidence coming in from Zoelys. Thought he was safe there, not respecting the potential for Team Heretics to just burst through that health bar.
Yeah, you can see Comp was trying to crash the wave, and Zoelys was just playing point guard as a human ward, whilst Markoon started the dragon, and Markoon couldn't help. Larssen didn't have priority either, so just losing out on the dragon there for Rogue.
Good punish from Team Heretics. Matched up the kill score, only 500 gold between the teams. Not going to matter too much. Larssen will get the push out here. Did leverage his TP. Keeping our eyes on the rest of the map. Jankos hovering around on the bottom side of the map. Zoelys Hex Flash out. I like that he still has the confidence to try to kick that things off. There's the Ziggs follow-up. It is only a lost chapter for Ziggs, however, so you know, you don't have the burst yet.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Early game Ziggs, it's about killing minions.
Yeah.
It's not about killing champions.
It's kind of about like having these back and forth trades, and maybe you can get something off of a pot flash, affected condition, and then you just go down bot side with one of your junglers. But ultimately, Zeri and Ziggs early game, you kind of lack a bit of damage. So.
Sorry, you said pot flash, and I just went to a very different game for a second. I got very lost. Got transported to Madrid in a heartbeat there. Anyway, Team Heretics, I mean, the good news is that Flakked has stabilized a little bit. It is only a Perkz, but Trimby hovering in the darkness, and Zoelys kind of, I think, just going to leave comp to solo farm here. We'll see where he resets to, if he's just going to run straight back down bot lane, or if he wants to go mid to maybe make a play elsewhere.
I think, quite interestingly though, 3 lanes of priority with Rogue, with 3 lanes of potential for getting plates, and only 1 plate has been taken, right? Topside, usually, what you expect is consistent demolish procs every other wave. Comp
has no business stepping up, but didn't recognize that Trimby was there. Thought he was in the 1v1. Flash out to safety. Flakked on the flash in. Will finish the job. Quick kill. Easy kill. That's one of the oldest tricks in the book.
Yep, there it is. And now you can expect Trimby's just going to crash this wave with Flakked and potentially move up to Grubs. It gives him a free reset to be able to do what he likes. Trimby.
That's the second time in 2 days that we've just seen a bit of a sloppy death from comp. The good news this time around, he has the TP. He's not going to lose too much. Zoelys still stepping up. Larssen on the way in. Trimby will walk away to safety. And I like that Rogue stuck with their game plan, Eragon. That they still drafted aggressive lanes. I thought that they might pull off the gas after yesterday when it turned against them. I like that they went with it, but we're still not seeing it really impact in the way that it should on paper, at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit slower when you're scaling with Ziggs, isn't it? But let's take a look at Skank again. Dash forward. Comp, I don't think he flashes the Q flash from the Rell, so he takes a lot of burst damage. Maybe he didn't preemptively expect it. See the Q flash here.
He thought the W was enough.
Yeah, and he managed to flash over this part of the wall, which I quite...
Just tricky.
Yeah, it's quite difficult, but Flakked managed to pick up the kill.
Good on Flakked. Flash for flash. Golf claps. Felt pretty clean. Felt pretty telegraphed. They knew it was coming. Yeah. They would have been surprised if it didn't work out for them in Rogue. Now at least going to be able to grab the dragon. Remember, they started this one earlier, a bit prematurely, and that was Zoelys' first and only death of the game thus far. But now Jankos is wandering in, maybe hoping that it's gift wrap for him. Can't quite get the smite off.
So this is really where Vi comes online, level 6, with this Taliyah and the Rell. The amount of setup, this 3-man core is incredibly strong. If they ever find an isolated target, or even just a regular target, like in the midst of everyone else, they absolutely burst in a single rotation.
Pull back there onto Finn. Unstoppable now. Finn gonna be in trouble. Instantly gonna try to ult, but Wunder just doing so much damage. Finn now just running the dash forward. Wunder getting the solo kill. 1v1 man just divided. Now Spyro running for his life. Jankos waiting over the wall. Trimby now trying to follow up, but where's the rest of the damage? The immediate combo you talked about it, the single target damage. The threaded volley to finish. How much more can Team Heretics get? That's massive.
Yep. Not going to find the remount either to chase down Markoon, but going to convert it over to the Grubs. Isolated 1v1 from Wunder onto Finn, managed to catch him out off guard, chunked and low. And then finding the play with the combination of Taliyah and Vi. So much burst damage coming out, managed to pick off Larssen too, who, I don't know if he had flash at the start, but not managed to get out of there.
Take a look at this one. Rogue, you can see, think they found the opportunity. The Unraveled Earth coming out just in time to stop the Larssen follow-up.
Yeah, and you can see Zeri was actually on the way in case this play extended, so TH, no matter how long this went, was able to win out.
A little bit bigger claps this time. We're scaling up the coach reactions. I feel pretty good about that one. And you highlighted the upfront damage, and Spyro did a very small amount of damage. They didn't even really need the Taliyah there. It was just a little bit of threaded volley, a little bit of Unraveled Earth. The rest was really just so much of that Vi-based damage coming through at this point in the game, because Larssen is very, very squishy. Continue to be so, but has the Kraken Slayer now at the very least. Not really able to push out mid here, though. And as a result, not going to be able to grab plates at the very least. Can't get mid prio. Rogue, what are they going to do with it? Got vision. There's no real objective to play for yet on the bottom side of the map.
I think what they're fishing for is potentially onto Zviru. He is flashless. Rogue. Larssen does have something, so consistent volatility around mid is what we're seeing, you know, especially with Larssen wanting to perma-push and secure plates. Shadowing him's never bad. Vision around the camp, so you can always track jungle. This is the most important thing, I was saying, where if you have pushing lanes, you just need to spot the enemy jungler so then they can free hit. But
the sad thing is, yeah, it's faded away a little bit. I think as Flakked has gotten away back into this game. You know, Comp had that early lead. They were winning out on those early trades. It felt like Trimby had misstepped, but Team Heretics did a lot to kind of come back into this.
I'm sorry, no flash.
Spyro, keen. it is safe to say, but knows that he has Jankos behind him. Zyro, is he willing to flash over the wall here? Rogue now trying to follow up. Larssen getting a couple autos down. Good damage coming in from the Ziggs from long range, but now it's Flakked on the backside to punish. Rogue over eager, but Larssen can start to get the resets. Jankos are trying to come in. Wunder trying to buy a bit more space. Comp now going to be in trouble with the Ziggs. Isolated and alone. Flakked just continuing to auto, stacking up a little bit more. Wunder looking for the Q3. Pull back on the Finn is there. Team Heretics taking the fight.
And just watch Flakked that entire fight once we get the replay, because the second all the spells come out, Zweiru inviting the fight there, knowing that he'd win with that TP coming through,
Flash
and the Zeri.
And Larssen
Extends a little bit.
playing on the edge there. Wunder, has he overstayed? Q3 goes in the wrong direction. Wunder now has to back up. They're committing. They just keep going for more trippies on the way in. Discipline. Knowing they had the edge in the extended exchange, knowing that Trimby would get there first. They know Zoelys is dead. He's first on the reset. And it's just getting worse for Rogue.
It's just a 5-5. Look at Zweiru. He has no flash. Yeah, he's walking up all the way here, back against the wall, gets Ziggs ulted, but watch Flakked. This is where all the threats are gone, and he can just free hit, and this is exactly what Zeri loves to do. Keep autoing with her ult up, and look, double dash use for Renekton. Nothing he has now can get onto Flakked, and he can just free hit all the way back to the base.
And Jankos powerful. You know, we know how impactful Vi is. Jankos already a little bit ahead of schedule. Wunder getting that solo kill puts him further ahead as well. Cassante, not a champion to be trifled with, generates so much space. The CC, Larssen just has to respect it. And here, you know, I think Zoelys just assuming at that point the ward coming down a split second too late to spot the ball breaker. And Team Heretics, it looked a little bit rough early on, but have done an incredible job fighting their way out of this deficit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, playing the composition extremely well, picking their fights really well, target selection, and knowing threats as Flakked.
Wunder. 4 marks up on the stun there. Markoon not going to come through on the permafrost. Herald will reset, which is a little bit awkward. Rogue, do they feel confident in the 5v5? Finn off on the flank. We'll just return to top side. Wave is in an even state. Bot lane's even as well. There's a bit of time to ARAM here if they want to group up and force the 5v5. But Finn will return top and stop that. Back is decent onto Larssen. Q3 from Wunder won't connect, and Tofu strikes not finding their target. But Jankos on the top side to shadow Flakked. Should just be able to push that wave in. Jankos walking away though and will be spotted on the ward, so now Finn can step up. Hook in. Hex flash over the wall. Good start to kick things off. Wunder in trouble, but it's still a Cassante. He's living for so damn long. Dash back, getting out to safety. Manages to escape the minefield for a brief moment, but still goes down. A 1-for-1 trade. Support for top laner.
Yeah, getting engaged on when Jankos had started the Rift Arrow, so a bit of a disconnect and maybe a lack of respect on the engage from the side of Rogue, but still, gonna have to start this Dragon. Everything used for the side of Rogue, and now they're just gonna cross-map this top with the Void Grubs to be able to cross-map and take our damage.
Markoon a little bit low here. Zyro, they're waiting for a little bit more information. Team Heretics, as soon as the Dragon call comes down, they know they have a brief window of opportunity on the side of Rogue to start this objective, so it should just be a Herald for Dragon trades. Zyro not gonna lose his life testing top push. Securing that wave, but they don't have enough tempo. They don't have enough time.
They had TP on Larssen, but opted not to go for it. Tools used, I suppose, no Glacial Prison and flashes on Larssen as well as Markoon. So gonna send Tristana bot side, and there's gonna be a free Herald for TH. Maybe they can rogue if the Tristana, Larssen rather, can hit the bot tower. Maybe they can cross map that, but they're always gonna lose any kind of cross map race because Rift Heralding top will score them in tier 2.
And I love the drafts that we are seeing from Rogue in terms of what they could provide for early game proactivity, but you can see just a couple of fumbles here and there from the team really costing them and making what is a very clear win condition feel much less achievable. The Team Heretics just get further and further ahead. 2K gold lead. Yes, Larssen is pushing, but Team Heretics have already got the tower. They're all going to reset. They're going to be first back on the map. The only really good news for the side of Rogue, other than going even on the tower trade, is that there's no major objective for them to take with that reset advantage.
Absolutely. And items coming out for both teams now. These 403 for the Vi. He is so strong. Jankos, I have to say, since last split, I thought Jankos was performing phenomenally. I remember back to series where he was playing champions like Larssen, finding kicks and dragging the team over the finish line a lot of times, especially when Wunder and Perkz weren't performing the best. But still, Jankos on this Vi.
A lot of heroic efforts from Jankos, I think.
Yeah.
Over the past years, honestly. You know, a few splits certainly in last year as well, where he just looked like one of the best junglers, if not the best jungler in the league. Now looking to replicate some of that. And for Markoon, I feel like he's still struggling to find his footing on this Rogue lineup. You know, we really didn't get to see much in Winter, and despite the potential setup for a lot of the laners, just really didn't come to fruition.
Not going to be able to play for side on either side now if you're the side of TH. You kind of get wave cleared on if you play for side with the Xante. So they're going to say, you know what, we can't do that. Let's just play for mid. Not going to save the Rift Herald potentially for a minute before Dragon to secure priority for that. Instead, just going to siege mid. And you can see everyone from Rogue
Trying to go, but again, Markoon caught out here, taking a big chunk. Wunder off to the side. One way to get it done. Trimby taking a little bit of damage, but Team Heretics full collapse onto mid lane to ensure that they get that charge. And now Jankos,
there it is,
looking to slide, looking to drift. The Ziggs, okay, all right. A little bit of a speed bump. I wanted to see the drift. I think that was objectively correct from a League of Legends standpoint, but I wanted to see the drift. Did he flash to ult?
He just burned Flash.
Did he flash to get an ult range?
That can't be worth it. When Dragon's 2 minutes 10 away.
He might have. Did he flash in the previous exchange? I'm not sure. Zoelys, bit of a stun here. Jankos is a big boy. Spyro on the way in, wall down there, but Larssen untouched for now. Does do a decent amount of damage. Double TP's here. Wunder coming in, but Wunder's now going to get collapsed on. Hook is there. Unstoppable though. Pull back into the wall. Wunder now trying to use him to escape, but doesn't quite have the timing on the ulti. Rogue retreating, safe for now, but the setup for Dragon and the angle into the pit currently in favor of Team Heretics, but there's no Dragon for 2 minutes, so it doesn't matter.
Lots of constant TP flanks with all this deep vision on both sides.
Dash back is clean from Flakked. Zoelys over eager. Beautiful ult from Trimby, and the immediate follow-up from Team Heretics. Their skirmishing, their fighting is so damn clean today, and Rogue are just running for the hills.
Yeah, what can they take off this as well? They're still
They're
chasing.
just ignoring the tower. They don't let the minions finish it. They want more.
Wunder still had Ghost for a bit, so I see what the angle was. Don't think they're going to be able to find uptime on this. Maybe just reset some tempo. Back on the map. Potentially secure vision for a Dragon in a minute 30 time.
It's like 2 minutes ago it was a 2K Goldie. Now
yeah,
it's almost 4K. I mean, credit Team Heretics. They see these windows of opportunity and they punish Rogue so well.
Yeah. Hook lands, but you see Flakked was expecting it. He immediately dashes, reacts, dashes behind Trimby, who then cancels the leap of Larssen. Crucially, mid-air. Wunder Ghost tries to run them down. Didn't quite make it.
They're literally, just running full sprint. Yeah. They could have hit the tower, but thought they might have an opportunity to get more, and it certainly doesn't cost them to step up. And Larssen frustrated. And that's the thing about the Rell that's infuriating for Tristana players, is just like, you W in, if they try to buffer you, you're just, it's like, nice try, buddy, I've got 2.
Yeah, trying to play off of the remount, the leap. CD coming off cooldown again, but Dragon coming up. I wonder what they're playing for here. It looks like a death bush in topside, just in case. A quick play, in case someone face checks, but not going to come to any fruition. Yeah,
let's look at the checklist here. You got mid prio already in your favor, top prio coming in as well. Rogue have to, well, they don't have to, but you will likely see them respond, and as soon as they do, you know that you're free to push up your vision line and do anything you want in the enemy jungle for a few moments.
Yeah, I was really confused because they were playing for topside. I think they lack Baron damage though, so it wasn't going to be anything like that. No Leandra's coming out for the Taliyah, no real damage coming out for the Zeri either. So instead, everything's going to be about this Dragon, right? Second Dragon, and how they set up vision behind it. Now, you could see Jankos is moving in, and I don't think Rogue can even contest. They don't even want to, so sending 4 people topside.
And I just think you're in this tricky position right now where Ziggs damage is all right, but clearly not menacing enough because it's just full armor on the Team Heretics topside between Jankos and Wunder, and Larssen and Finn just aren't really going to be effective. And it's very unlikely that Comp is going to have the time to just throw out bouncing bombs left and right.
I think the problem Team Heretics is having right now is there's too much wave clear for the side of Rogue. Infamous, Ziggs, the amount of wave clear he does have alongside the satchel from Tristana, so they just cannot siege top tier 2, they cannot siege mid. You can see every single time they push in mid, it's just bombs. So the wave is gone from 2K range.
Bombs.
All right.
Here we are. We missed this meta. The infinite wave clear meta. It's not Victor Azir, but Ziggs bot, bringing us a slight flavor.
Bring back Sivir.
No, don't. Did you watch LCS? It didn't look good, man. It was hot mess. No more Sivir. Ever. You missed the Reckless era, and you should, you just have to move on. You're part of a new era of casting in League of Legends. They will inevitably buff her, and she will become a problem in pro play again. For now,
she did. +4
you need to be the zoomer that you are and enjoy Smolder and Zeri. That's your age range. That's your demographic. Leave the Sivir for us old
I do
folks.
like it. I'm a big fan of 25-minute games and just the Dragon fight game ends.
Yeah, that's how I know you grind solo queue. just want the fastest game time possible. Anyway, Team Heretics, they reset. 3 members committed mid lane. They really want mid prio. You highlighted it well though. The Ziggs, again, doesn't have to walk up to instantly reset the lane.
So between dragons and between neutrals, you have a few options, right? You can play to choke out the enemy with jungle camps. You can try to pop summoners, try to pop flashes, by engaging on someone and playing for side as well. you largely need to do this by invading the jungle and keeping vision and transferring vision from bot to top as well. So it's good to see Team Heretics doing that. Maybe they can force a Larssen flash or something to help them in the third dragon fight.
Yeah, my eyes are kind of on Zoelys as well. 4 deaths this game. I like what he does mechanically a lot of the times, but sometimes he's just in the wrong place. And really needs to respect that Team Heretics have this entire jungle warded up. Ooh, gets the blue. 29 HP. Leandry's likely would have finished it, but that's frustrating. Comp using the ulti, hoping for the steal. Still a very low cooldown, and now, because they know generally where Comp is, they've seen Finn on the bottom side. It gives Team Heretics access to top tier 2. Not enough time, however, to take down the tower, but a good chunk of damage.
Yeah, a lot of chunk damage going on, but no cross-map potential for the side of Rogue. They're kind of just eating waves down bot. Every single time they walk up to the wave, they can at least hit it once to proc that grub true damage over time.
Yep.
And tick it down a little bit. Maybe on this next siege they can take this tier 2 completely.
Crucially, they're on a ward, but excellent Weaver's Wall. Markoon going to use the ultimate, but frankly, the play is kind of already fizzled.
They have nothing, it feels like. They engage, Markoon throws his R, but Finn TP's in, and there's just no play to be made.
No follow-up. I guess Rogue didn't want to commit anything. I mean, they committed the TP, but they didn't want to commit any flashes to follow up. They felt like the Weaver's Wall came in, and you would assume that that's where the play stops, but the TP coming in after. A moment of miscoordination. Perhaps everyone on Rogue not quite on the same page there.
Potentially a bit scared to pop resources before this next dragon, because the next dragon is so important. Contesting third Drake is incredibly important to stop the soul. But yeah, maybe Larssen and Comp not wanting to pop that flash.
And, time is running out, because Zeri's about to hit 3 items. There's already a death cap on the Taliyah. Jankos is still 2.2k gold ahead. And it's a Sejuani. Of course, Markoon's always going to be relevant, but that ulti is going to be really hard to hit anything other than frontline from the Sejuani at this point in the game. Yeah. And the map is entirely dark. Jankos on the chase, going to push out here. Rogue hoping to catch Team Heretics, maybe getting overeager, walking in the jungle before they have priority. And Comp for now at least can freely walk up to mid lane. Although he's hesitant because he doesn't really have the information he needs to make that decision.
Yeah. 3 items coming in now for the Zeri, so any fight they take is absolute dumpster. If they start at Baron, they can just turn.
This is Ziggs play. I forgot.
Every time?
You brought it, I forget every time. I watch him bot lane, I remember the satchel charge part. I forget that he just doesn't have to interact with other champions.
Yeah, you just play for the 3rd bounce, and that's like two screens away. And you're just clearing the entire way.
You're never going to hit a champion that way, but the minions, easy pickings. Wunder at least starting to put a little bit more side lane pressure down, and Team Heretics now overloading on side. All 5 members committed here. This might catch Rogue off guard.
Yeah, has Vi got Q? Doesn't look like it.
Yes. Coming over the wall. Immediate response from Markoon, but again, the counterplay here from Rogue is essentially non-existent. They don't have the damage. There's no one in the area to follow up on Markoon's ultimate. It just delays the ult, and there's the follow from Trimby. Ulti on the backside from Ziggs, not doing much of anything. Jankos might just get taken down, though. Big shutdown over to the side of Comp. Now it's Team Heretics who are a bit overeager. They don't even get a kill. They don't even break the tower. They just lose Jankos in the process.
Yeah, they really dive forward, and Jankos falls. I think they could have just played for push both in mid and bot lane, hit the turret a few times, and then back off with that deep vision in the bot side jungle and play for Dragon, but wanting a little bit more than that because they have so many items on their Zeri.
And we're not at 15 minutes anymore. The Ziggs is starting to hurt. You can't just dive into those minefields as Jankos with no MR. I mean, you even have tabbies. You're full armor. There's no MR to speak of whatsoever. Like, he will shred you. You get over-eager on the leap-in, and Vi, while powerful, very telegraphed. Ziggs just gets to set up his whole combo as you come into him.
Crucially, though, Tristana no flash now, so if Vi ever presses R, that's chained with a potential Rell engage and a Taliyah W. Larssen is just blown up, so that makes the Dragon fight a lot more straightforward for the side of Team Heretics.
It does. Larssen getting closer to a 3rd item here. Rogue, Baron take not bad with Tristana in the mid lane, the Ziggs having Leandry's. We'll see if they feel comfortable enough to go for it. For now, they're just forced to walk away. Team Heretics keen to get a pick here as Rogue have overstaggered on side lane. Larssen just needs to run, but Trimby eyes on the Tristana. The knockback is there again. That's the follow-up. You called it out. There it is. There's no flash. The rocket jump is not enough. Team Heretics recognize the advantage and punish Rogue for overstepping on top side.
Extending on side, and Finn has no TP either, so there's not going to be able to be any kind of flank. He's running up now as fast as he can to potentially play the Baron, but crucially, you've got the MR shred. Now, the turn.
Fight coming out as well. Jankos just goes right over the wall. Flakked again, uncontested. He's barely even a part of this fight. AD carry now finally going to come in. Flakked's going to clean up, but Team Heretics doing work here.
Trimby.
Burn onto Trimby. Should finish the job. Comp at least going to get one back. But again, I mean, Eragon, they're just getting obliterated in these fights, and I just feel like Rogue just looked lost.
I think Rogue could have played it a bit slower and then played for the poke on the Ziggs, because if you're in the pit versus Ziggs ult or Ziggs Qs, you're kind of struggling, but they managed to get engaged on over the wall, and it ends too quickly for Finn to come and have an impact.
Yep. And we see here, I believe this is after the Larssen pick. So the setup here,
The turn. Yeah, marking the potential Baron steal, so I mean, it's just beautiful, isn't it?
I think just
Good play.
Yeah, with Rogue potentially overestimating how quickly Team Heretics, or how if Team Heretics had put all 5 members there, you know, it could have gone down much faster. So maybe just felt like they had to get in there, but Finn, of course, wasn't close enough to participate in the play, so it was just easy inside Team Heretics. And Jankos, again, wandering into the pit. Should get punished here, is forced to flash out to safety. Ultra Shock Laser will not steal it away, so at the very least, second Drake back over to Rogue. They have a bit more time in the game, can just continue to leverage that Ziggs wave cleared. And, you know, whenever you're doing Dragon in the duration of your Baron buff, it does always feel a little bit awkward, wasting a bit of that time that you have to push in.
Yeah, Team Heretics had to secure the Baron, so that they're late on the map naturally. Wunder didn't have any TP, so didn't have a TP rather, so he couldn't be there on the play, and they just lose out on the Dragon. But it doesn't matter, right? You have so much standing gold in tier 2s in the mid and bot lane. You just play mid bot and potential siege. Now that Baron buff is going to make it easier to not be wave cleared on by the Ziggs. So Zwaru is going to hit that mid turret.
He's free to do so. Team Heretics, even at a man disadvantage, know that they can kind of step forward here. It's so hard for Rogue to get on to Flakked. And the other 3 members, they can't really afford to burn cooldowns on at this point in the game. Trimby isolates himself. That might be an avenue of attack, but Team Heretics really trying to sync their waves up here. Powered Cannon will drop. Mid-wave a little bit far away, so Flakked not going to auto. Really taking his time, hoping to get both waves to crash at the same time, but there's the Weaver's Wall for setup. Wunder caught trapped on the wrong side of it, and that wall blocking the creeps. A bit awkward, but now the turn to mid, so a bit of a desync here for Team Heretics. This doesn't hurt them, but it certainly limits the impact of their Baron, as Wunder now keen to kick things off. Zoelys will sidestep. Towers are all still up for Rogue, though, keeping that inhibitor line alive.
Trying to find uptime on the tower with a Taliyah wall, I think, as well as maybe fish for someone pinning them behind it, but still, I'm going to find it, and they use this Baron. You can imagine this is just going to get taken. Or mid, at least.
And of course, the later we go, Larssen's going to get more range draw beat. The Tristana passive giving more and more, so a bit harder for Flakked to walk up and auto attack for free, but that should just be the tower taken out now. Team Heretics feel like they have enough of an advantage to just bully through on that wave, and Jankos immediately shifting priority up to the top side. Trimby very low. There's an avenue of an attack here, but Flakked again, the big threat, and no one can get on top of him. So yet another tower going to fall.
I mean, 3 items to Ziggs and 3 items to Tristana. This is the closest they're going to be in terms of item thresholds, right? 3 to 3.5 is doable if they manage to find the engage, and that chunk on the Trimby might just set it up.
But Rogue don't.
They're not going to find it.
They don't feel like they have the angle. And they're bleeding out.
It's really rough because you see they want to engage, and Finn EQs to clear the wave, and then he has no E, so there's no dive to follow up. That locks out any potential engage because Markoon wouldn't have any follow up on the engage.
And I feel like this is an instance, you know, it's obviously a very high pressure situation, but I feel like at times the reason that people get frustrated with Rogue is because sometimes it feels like they're playing not to lose instead of playing to win. You know, when it comes down to these moments where you highlighted where the itemization is close enough. It's not great, but it's never going to be great, right?
Yep.
Sometimes you have to pull the trigger and you have to go. And that just did not happen there because now that there are 2 inhibs down, your avenues of attack are so small. Your windows of opportunity are so small. Trimby fishing for the pick here, and Markoon just running. There's the wall. Weaver's Wall. Spyro. Might have a potential return there from Rogue, but they're not going to take it. And now the kind of obvious paint by numbers League of Legends takes over. You've taken 2 inhibitors.
Now you just play with time.
Yeah.
Play with time. Super minions come in, flooding in top and mid. And you just got to keep playing for attrition on this tower. Now the wave clear doesn't have Baron to hold it off.
Opportunity for Team Heretics. Much more disciplined, much more controlled in this game overall, punishing Rogue. Still a few hiccups here and there. A few times they've been caught out. As Trimby's caught out to kick off the fight, but again, Flakked is not getting touched whatsoever. And Jankos is off to the side, threatening the Nexus if Rogue try to contest here.
Yeah. And the super minions are now flooding in, right? Top side, there's multiple stacking. So it's just going to get worse and worse. Rogue have to pull the trigger. They're on a timer here. If they don't pull the trigger, they're just going to be completely flooded with super minions. So there he is. There it is.
Making it out to safety. Zoelys is dead. Ulti now coming in. Opportunity for them to kick the fight off. Wunder getting the pull back, and Flakked goes over the wall. It's easy pickings. He's just going to clean up, throwing lightning through the entire Rogue front line. Last inhibitor tower. Last inhibitor going to fall. Flash forced out for Comp. It is Comp and Larssen versus the world. 2 Yordles just trying to get it done. but there's no avenue here. They're not even going to walk up. It's over.
I don't think they can even clear the minions at this point. It's shouldn't be getting chunked a little bit, but I think that's game.
Team Heretics bleeding Rogue out of the game, not giving them those avenues of attack. Taking them out, slow, controlled, steady, making it happen and finding their first win in Spring.
It was just a slow bleed out, wasn't it? Every single dragon fight after a certain point in the mid game.
Yeah, and like
they can come back.
I think credit to Wunder and Jankos especially. Yep. You know, Trimby had some good moments. Spyro had some good moments. Flakked had some good moments, but ultimately it's that duo. I feel like that just did so much work. Key player of the game at LEC on X, Wunder, Jankos, or Flakked. Individual 1v1 kill. The impact of those two in the mid-game skirmishes, how much Wunder tanked. Yes, he did die once. Trimby also with the setup, and it just felt like that freed up Flakked and Spyro to just be DPS threats. They were never threatened.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just huge front line. I think at one point, Wunder had 4 items to 2. But yeah, masterclass from Wunder.
Absolute masterclass. For now, though, we're going to head to a quick break. Bows from Team Heretics. When we return, an interview. Don't go anywhere.
Done.
There we go.
Break?
Break.
Even the biggest champ needs a break.
I'm tired.
Me too.
So, what do you think? On to the next one? Let's go. Come on.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Welcome everyone to the Kia Tilt-Proof Challenge. We're here to see if 4 gamers can stand up to the test.
Dios mío de mi vida.
I think I lost.
I'm so happy that I didn't eat before.